Okay, let's see. I just want to look at this quick thing here. Yeah, I think, yeah, the US is having its Chiron return, it's in Pisces, in 2025 to 26 to 2026. So, and that stands to reason. I can see that we are having, um, and that energy probably is active now. It's in Pisces. Ah, very good. Okay. And I think if I recall correctly, we have Chiron in the second house.
I don't.
What we value.
I'm looking.
I think it's
Yeah,
what
I
we
don't know.
value.
I'm not. Yes, second house is about values. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I don't expect you to know about this. I live here. I just that's why though Anna and I would talk about Chiron and what's happening in the US because astrologers are done are served very well right now with what's going on in the US because it's so much the planets are talking and sending energy and you can see how it shows up here on Earth in the United States and how we deal with each other
Yes.
and everything. So
A
for good or for
a
bad.
collect. Yeah, a collective healing. You guys
Yeah.
going through collective healing as a country.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's gonna get, that's a sweet way of putting it's gonna get wild. So let me,
Uh, yeah, on a personal level, Chiron stories are always very sad. So,
yeah.
but you go ahead, start with the archetype and a mythology, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So and now most of this I've adapted from the book Chiron and the Healing Journey by Melanie Reinhardt. So you can look this up. It's the second edition too. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. Yes, beautiful book. I love the cover. So Chiron is a centaur, and in Greek mythology, he's the adopted son of Apollo, the god, the sun god, who's known for truth, prophecy, diseases, healing, archery, and music, dance, and poetry, all of which he taught Chiron. Now, Chiron's wound was from abandonment. His mother, and his father was, outside of his marriage, was afraid to get caught by the wife, turned himself into a being so his wife wouldn't notice who that was laying down with the woman. So and he leaves, the mother has the baby, has Chiron in the forest, and she realized is what he looks like because he's a mixed body type, he's a center. Then she's like, no, I don't want him, asked to be removed, and she's sent someplace else to join another group of beings. And Apollo and Chiron's left there, he's abandoned by both parents. It is said, how Greek mythology is, it's weird, we can't make sense in our understanding, but then Apollo finds him and takes him in and raises him up and teaches him as the son. Um, one of his many sons. Apollo is quite prolific with children. Um, so, one of the, so part of that, so he's the first example of the wound that doesn't heal. You don't heal from abandonment by both parents like that. So that's something that he um, had, and he had that so deeply. Uh, but not only was he a centaur in Greek mythology, he is one of the most important because he's the wisest. He was presented as the civilized centaur because he is more human-like and less beastly than typical centaurs, who were portrayed as violent, wild, lustful, drunk, and so on. He has the front legs of a man. You can see him. He's not a centaur. He has the horse body kind of thing. Front legs of a man. I've seen both ways. I've seen front legs as a man, front legs as a horse, and the back legs of a horse for sure. Um, let's see here. Chiron was really discovered in 1977 by Charles T. Kowal, Kowal, at the Hale Observatory in Pasadena, California. However, in the book it says that we didn't know what we were looking at, but they looked back at old photos of the galaxy and they did see Chiron there. They just didn't know, we weren't ready to see it. So you don't see what you're not ready to see. So that's why it was really officially discovered in 1977. Now, did you say it was discovered in Gemini?
No, no, that was
That was
Uranus.
Uranus.
We're talking about
Okay,
Uranus.
because this was
Yes,
discovered in Taurus. In
yes,
Taurus. Great.
yes.
Chiron was discovered in Taurus, placed in the ninth house of vision, meaning, and spiritual aspiration. So the resource we are being invited to cherish is our own individual capacity to access guidance. While this can be cultivated, nourished, and stimulated by outer teachers and teachings, Chiron symbolizes the inner facility for processing our experiences in such a way that benefit and wisdom result. This is something I wanted to just share briefly that this just applies to everything, not just kind of, but true healing is beyond method, technique, and even outcome. The fix-it model of Western technological thinking is transcended by the realities of soul and spirit and the
Yes.
deeper mysteries we encounter on the journey of healing. And that's the
Yes.
reason why I thought that was important to include, because we're entering such a technological age. We're already in one, but we haven't seen anything yet. And what will be the counterpoint or the way to assuage our soul and our spirit will be to seek out that balance and that harmony and that healing with non-technological things. Okay, so that's um
Yeah.
and I think that's all. I didn't want to go into too much detail because I just want to give
Yeah.
a little pressing.
Okay, so I just in my notes, I just saw that it actually has a pear shaped. So it's a shaped as a pear, the ecliptic. Those
Yes, yes, it's a
not
yeah.
as an egg. I'm sorry, but as a
Oh, it's a
pear.
pear. Okay.
Yes. So anyway, it takes him around 50 years to go around the sun. So that's the Chiron return. It's up to 50 years, and it's as you mentioned. So what is good about Chiron? I just want to mention two more things before we go to signs and houses, because it's his placement in the universe is between Saturn and Uranus. So because Saturn was the most visible thing, like in ancient worlds, Saturn was the visible, the conscious, the here. Uranus was new, unconscious. So he's a bridge between conscious and unconscious. That's important. Also, um, in mythology, what happened because Apollo, as you mentioned, taught him everything. Then he became himself a teacher and a mentor to others, and that's how he healed. So that's the lesson. Instead of giving up and saying, "Oh, I'm poor me, I was abandoned," he took the best and said, "Okay, I have this new mentor, a new father figure. I'm gonna learn from him, and I'm gonna pass his knowledge onto others," and that's how and at the end, because he was immortal, right? So remember, he was immortal, and he was living in this pain, but he couldn't die. So imagine you have this pain, you can't die. That's why we say it's a wound that you cannot heal, because he was always in this kind of pain. But at the end, you know how he asked Zeus if he can replace if he can Prometheus, if he can be in the, because Prometheus was suffering, right? So he said, "Can I go instead of Prometheus and relieve him suffering?" So that's why he wanted to help others who suffered, because Prometheus was also, immortal, he couldn't. So, and then Zeus kind of said, "Oh my God," and then he gave him mortality, and that's why he put him in the stars. That's why we have Sagittarius. That's why the horse connection with Sagittarius. So. Um, I can't hear you. I don't know, but I can hear you.
No, I did that purposefully, so when I'm talking
Ah,
to you're not hearing me.
okay. So I just want to mention that. And I mentioned last week when we talked that something very interesting also from mythology, and what is the remedy for this? It's not a remedy, but it can ease your hard transits by Chiron. His mother was actually, because she was kind of, anyway, the story, I don't want to go too much to the story, but Zeus made her in a tree, because she put Chiron in the water, in a basket on the water, and then, but she was also suffering for abandoning her kids at the end. Anyway, so the god Zeus, I think it was Zeus, made her to be a tree over the water, a linden tree. So that's why to heal your wounds, or when Chiron has a hard aspect to your chart or hard aspect of Chiron, please drink linden tea. That's how you connect to your mother. I mean, that's the connection between Chiron and mother, to linden tree. And put some, if you have cinnamon stick in it, and then stir it, and then have this, it's a very nice remedy for hard Chiron aspects. I want to shout out to my teacher, Uranian Matt. He taught me that. So I always have linden tea at home. Linden tea is actually very good in general for soothing our nervous system. It's something like chamomile, so you can have it in the same sense, but this is also very healing. That's another thing. Also I don't have a long experience, but the last 5 years I've been doing a lot of practice. I have a lot of charts. I've been looking at charts my whole life, but the last 5 years I've been using Chiron, for example. And what I noticed that with Chiron, when it's placed with moon or the sun in the natal chart, these people have stronger abandonment issues one way or another from their parents. It doesn't have to be 100% the case, but I would say in most cases. So if you have a Chiron in conjunction, opposition, or a square to your moon, then it's some kind of abandonment by your mother. It doesn't have to be physical, that you didn't have physically mother, that she abandoned you, something happened to her, or that she just didn't acknowledge you or dismissed you, or didn't give you the support and the love and didn't feel nurtured. Or if she was just overly smothering, that she didn't see you for who you really are. Same thing with the sun. If you have a conjunction with Chiron with the sun, square or opposition, the same things happen with your father. You either had an absent father, or not having him around, or father was there but he dismissed you, or no support from the father, or just, there's a lot of things. So, but those are those wounds that if we don't have a loving and supporting mother and father when we are growing up in those early age of development, then we kind of always use that, it's in us through our lives, and then we make the same things, we repeat. It's that kind of feeling we are putting in our relationships or in
Absolutely.
our work environment,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, it shows up in your life,
Yes.
in your life
Those
relationships. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what can we, before I go into detail, what can we learn from Chiron? So as we learn from his story, he didn't give up. He didn't feel sorry for himself. He was in pain, he wasn't comfortable, but he wanted to use his pain to help others. And the only actually, the best way you can help others if you been through the same things. I always feel, yeah, you can empathize with others,
Mm-hmm.
but if you didn't go through the same story, I always feel, all those support groups like AA support groups or something. Why do they exist? Or if you lost a loved one, you have a support group, because those people went through the same things, and you can help each other because you have the same mood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, if you can imagine what the Chiron story is. So if you have some kind of wound that the best way is to find somebody who has the same, and by sharing your stories or sharing the situation, it can help them. Okay. Again, before I go into by sign, house by house, I want to talk about the story of my mom. Okay, I want to talk about it because I think it's important that we share those personal stories that can help each other. That's the whole point of this, and it's hard. To be honest, it's hard. So my mom, in her chart, she passed away 23 years ago. She actually passed away on her Chiron return, and that's why it's not only, we don't die because planets do this to us. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's gonna die. It's not, but it's it's a more of how do you go? More of understanding why it happened at that moment. It doesn't, each of us have our own stories, and we work on ourselves. And so don't take me that everybody who have this is the same. I'm just telling the story. So if somebody can see that story, and maybe they can help themselves or somebody else who they have in their lives. So my mom had she had a Chiron and moon together conjunct in the 4th house of home, family, roots, and ancestry. So there was a big wound about her relationship with her mom, my grandmother. Okay. My grandmother was there. She didn't abandon her in that sense, but it was, they had my grandmother was very cold and practical woman, let's say. Okay. And she didn't know how to nurture. Okay, anyway, it comes back, blah, 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 I don't want to go. But my mom had always felt that, my grandparents divorced. My mom was always put in the middle. She wanted to kind of be in between. And although she was loved by many people, I remember my mom's funeral. There was like 400 people came. She was loved by many, and she was successful career, lovely, family, kids, everything was okay. But this parents issue, she always wanted to kind of have the love from her mom. And I know when even at the end of it, when she was dying, she died of cancer. She was crying, why my mom doesn't love me. So that's the feeling of Chiron. And we all, it's hard. It's hard because when you see somebody like that, you kind of can't help them, right? Because it's just that they need to go through their own process. And so I would really encourage everybody who feels that they are abandoned or not loved to find a support group. That's number one. Just because I couldn't help her, nobody could help her because we couldn't go through the same things. I had a loving mother. How can I help my mom who doesn't feel loved if I don't know what it feels like, right? I can, so there's lots of family history, but I'm just saying that these wounds can be so deep and so hard to deal with, because you never kind of deal with them. You need to accept them. So for Chiron return, when it happens in the 50, it's time of acceptance, of understanding what it is, and finding the support that you need to help you live with that. Not everyone is having people who have prominent Chirons have to work more. I don't lie to you. They have to work more. They have a deeper issues to resolve. I personally don't have that hard of a Chiron, so I can't speak from my personal experience. My Chiron is really not aspecting anything except Uranus, which is, it's not even a personal planet. I feel my Chiron, but it's not like somebody, if you have it with Sun or Moon, as I mentioned, you will need to really, it's an invitation to work on it. Like this lifetime is here, you need to, and the only way to heal yourself is by helping others who have the same situation. That's it. It is what it is. Okay? So I just wanted to go through this. So I made some notes. I don't know, JeMaja, do you want to mention anything before I go on?
Before you start, there's some type of noise that's making something in your microphone or something, because every time you move,
Okay,
it's
sorry. Okay, I won't be moving. Okay, that's it here. Here it is. Okay,
okay.
better? Better?
Yep. So far,
Okay.
yes, good. Okay.
Okay, I won't be moving anymore because I'm a Gemini.
Yeah,
When I talk, I move.
of course, but that's fine.
Yeah. So I want to take some notes from actually from Melanie Reinhardt's book. I thought it's lovely how she describes a little bit, and then I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Okay, I'm going to combine both. So I'll start with Aries. So Aries or the first house. So if you have Chiron in Aries, or if you have Chiron in the first house, which we have now collectively, it's about existence. Like Aries is about I am, I exist, and people who have those placements usually feel that they don't have the right to exist or to be alive. So that's very hard. They usually don't like their body. They feel that they are some kind of so those people really are not comfortable in their body, or they feel that they're just ugly. Literally, I'm going to say those words because the Chiron words are harsh. You're not going to sugarcoat it here. So those people feel that they're ugly. They go to plastic surgery. They do Botox and all this stuff because they have this wound of feeling. Anyway, there's inconfidence. Their inhibition in themselves, lack of confidence, especially when they're young, especially. So that's why it's a lot about self-sabotage as well, just because that's what Chiron does, unfortunately. They feel useless, worthless, and then as they grow older and find accepted, because they accept that this is who I am, this is my body, this is normal, they kind of have an attitude, take it or leave it, that's it, kind of accepting it, right? So their kind of job is to inspire others to love themselves and their bodies. So that's how they're going to heal. Telling other people how beautiful they are physically. Literally. That's the easiest way to do it. I'm not going to go very deep in every, but I'm going to just spend a couple of minutes for each sign, because if you want to deeper read the book and explore more, but I want to give you just an idea of what it is. Okay. So Chiron, JeMaja, if you want to interrupt and if you want to add anything for each sign, please do, because I'm going to go to Taurus now. Do you want to add anything for Aries?
Aries, I have my Chiron in the first house, but it's not in Aries.
But do you feel that something with your body, or feeling that you don't have the right to exist? But if it depends if it's aspected with something
Well,
as
I
well.
think but you brought up a good point. That there's a maturity, a maturation. So as a young girl, I did have challenges with how I looked. I didn't think I was ugly, but I could have benefited from having a different body or a different look. Plus, mine was complicated with the added of being dark brown in a country that doesn't like brown people. So I had that,
But
and with a hair that people didn't like. So that was, but then as I grew older,
yeah,
I got into my 20s and 30s, and I was like, you know what, this is me. I'm beautiful as who I am. And I would help people with that, saying, because by my being, even at times just wearing my hair naturally or carrying myself with pride in how I looked, not being a runway model or whatever. And then it helped other people to say, well, she could do it. Because I would see other people saying, well,
good.
that's beauty. So I learned to define my own beauty because it was so unique. And then I would help others with the same thing. And I do tell people all the time to actually do you. That's one of my things is to always help people see
Good.
that we're not supposed to look like one another. Or what I mean, there's so many strands and variations of beauty, and to be comfortable in your own body.
Yeah.
So and that happens as you go through life. Of course, 50s it helped. I think a lot of things clicked in for me then.
Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of the story of it. As I said, if it's not prominent in your chart, if it's not aspected hard, you might not feel it as much. But there's always a resonance
Yeah,
somewhere, or
yeah,
right, or
hmm
something like your skin color or the way you did your hair. It's enough
yeah,
for Chiron.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
more than enough, to be honest, to have some kind of, a wound. Or why was I born as a black woman instead of a white man, for example?
Yeah,
Just
and I liked
but
and I liked how I look. I mean, I didn't want to be born differently, but then it wasn't accepted. So I was like, "What's going on here?" And then I
yeah,
said, "You know what? You got to accept yourself. Self acceptance is the key." That's what I learned
yeah.
from that, is to accept myself.
Yeah. Uh, Sometimes people with Aries or the first house have some kind of physical, or literally some physical disadvantage. It can happen sometimes. It's not always, but it
Hey, Adrian.
it can happen. I'm not, oh, hi, Adrian. Okay. So, so Taurus, or the second house. So Taurus is definitely a lack of self-worth. So I have a Chiron in Taurus in the eighth house. Um, it's because Taurus is all about substance, right? It's very material. It's very, what can you provide? What can you give that has value to the world? So you often feel that you don't have anything to provide that's valuable to the world. Just feeling that, that it's not, anyway. So definitely lack of self-worth, and I can adjust to that. Okay, so it's also about finding the value in the world. What is of value? How am I valuable? It's all about that. So you're always measuring, and unfortunately we live in a material world, so we often measure ourselves and our values by how much we get paid, or how much material things did you gain in your life. Do I have a big enough house? Do I have a car? So if I don't have it, I'm not worthy. I'm not valuable, which is ridiculous logically, but for Taurus or second house Chiron, it's very, very real. And it's unfortunately as the measurement, right? Yeah, so I'm not worth it. I don't deserve it. I don't like. I remember. I'm going to share my stories as well. As a kid, I lived in Croatia, but I had these cousins in Canada, and I would always get these beautiful clothes from my cousins, but they were secondhand. And I always thought that I'm not worthy of having a new clothes, just because they were beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I got beautiful things, but they were secondhand. So through life, I always kind of felt that I don't deserve new. It's ridiculous, but that's what it is, right? So anyway, so what else did I? Oh yeah, so it's also about putting price on your worth and value. Like me as an entrepreneur, putting value to my services, I really have issues with that because how can I put a price on something that I feel that it's. So those are the things. Undervaluing oneself, feeling your contribution to the world isn't valid, don't deserve to be of worth. But then, as you age, of course, what I learned, and I want to give everybody their value. That's my, I really, since I learned about Chiron, my goal is to tell everybody how valuable they are. See, I'm going to cry. That's how this Chiron is, because, just to give other people's values, I can see me.
Hmm.
See, that's how, look how
Yeah.
this is, it's so
Yeah.
emotional, right? Because you feel it's ridiculous rationally, but when you talk about Chiron and you get overwhelmed. Anyway,
But because people don't feel value, people don't feel
yes.
valid or
Yeah.
valued today, and that is probably part of the collective woundedness that we're all going through. And in this country, I just got finished saying in the U.S. we have I think our Chiron in the second house, what we value. So are we valued? And the things that we say we value may not be of value. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Actually, and
I,
so.
unfortunately, we live in a material world. Everything is measured by material things. Still, these
Hmm.
days,
Hmm.
although we are trying, I think this is the shift that we are looking for. That this
Oh,
might change. That's
yes.
my hope. That's my
Me
hope.
too. Yeah, yeah. It'll make it all
Right?
worthwhile if we could get some major, and I think we will. Oh, I think we absolutely will.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's that. I don't want to go further because it's not. Anyway, see, it's that's how deep it is. But rationally, I understand. Oh, I'm valuable, but then emotionally accepting really and working on it, still, it's a process, right? Okay. Gemini, Gemini feel that's a hard, or a third house Chiron. It's hard because they cannot. They feel that they're mentally, that their mind, it's irrelevant. So they feel that they thoughts and ideas are irrelevant, and that nobody takes them seriously. That it's very hard. It's like disintegrating. They cannot mentally identify with themselves. A lot of things there. It can also signify a loss of a sibling, okay, because it's in Gemini. So it can be about loss of a sibling, that person physically lost a sibling. Um, and maybe they have a hard relationship with their siblings, that they just don't have a good relationship for one reason or another. They don't have so it's some kind of, because you grew up with these people, right? These are the people, we have the same parents, the same upbringing, and then your sibling is maybe more successful or is having and then you get this it's just irrational. So don't think about, when you talk about Chiron, it's nothing rational here. It's deep emotional thing, right? um, if there's an age gap between siblings, there can be a feeling of putting down, by the older, or or whatever, or you feeling if you're older, that younger is getting all the attention. Oh, he's like
She
a
always
baby.
did. I'm saying that's my sister. She's listening. So that's why I said it so she can hear it.
So it's about who are you within the family. It's like a competition with the siblings, or even if you're even if you don't have a sibling, it can be about being smart, not being smart enough, feeling that you're stupid, like, which is, I heard that, she goes, I heard that. um, also feeling unsupported from your peers. Remember, Gemini is about your peer group in your elementary school, middle school, high school, right? Those are your people. So feeling some kind of disconnected with them or not accepted, right? That can be a wound.
Hmm.
Yeah, so usually they just feel that their mind isn't good enough, their communication and their verbal, they're inconfident. It can be a lot of stuttering, like
Oh,
Chiron, Gemini.
I don't
Yes,
have
stuttering.
Chiron and Gemini, but I had stuttering problems. Interesting.
Yes.
All right.
Or
Still do.
so they, yeah, they need to practice being more assertive and projective on the verbal level, or writing it down or something, or helping others to express themselves in one way or another, or siblings. That's what I mentioned. So
Yeah.
just overall feeling stupid. That's what I feel like, just not being able to.
And
Yeah.
that's interesting because with Chiron, I mean, with Mercury, I mean, Gemini being ruled by Mercury, usually are some of the, really mind people. They really aren't usually typically intelligent people, well read. They like reading, they like learning. But with Chiron there, that they don't trust, or they think they're what they know or is not valuable or whatever. So that's a good example of understanding how Chiron interplays with a sign.
or it, or it's just irrelevant. Like, who will think that I have a smart idea? So they don't express it. You know how you go between, everybody goes, you are with your friends in school and everybody has something and you just don't say anything because you don't want to be stupid.
Right. Yes.
Or you feel,
Yeah.
who's going to think that this is a good
Hmm.
idea? Nobody's going to,
Hmm.
so those kind of, so this is particularly hard when younger, right? Because
Right.
these are the younger things.
Peer pressure and so on. Hmm.
Yeah, right. So,
Hmm.
and your siblings, you don't live with your siblings when you're older, right? So this is something that, you have to kind of work through. Cancer or fourth house, that's really hard because, Cancer is about mother and father. So it's about parental issues. So this is feeling of not belonging in that family. That's number one. So that's really hard because families is where this is our first safe spots, first safe
Right.
place. This is our nest that we can feel protected, and you don't feel that way. Imagine that is so hard. Like I just feel for these people. So people who feel ostracized by their family, they can't get the affection they need. So usually it can be an expectation from the parents. Mommy wants you to be what? Oh, yeah. So, for example, if parents couldn't achieve something in their life, so they are projecting on you, and they expect you to do it, and then they're very harsh, right?
Oh,
Because, like, imagine a parent not taking a chance or something or not doing, and then they want you to do it. Like, I wanted to be a tennis pro, and
yes.
I couldn't, and then I forced you to do tennis. You need to kind of, and then you feel
Yes.
like, what is happening, right?
Hmm.
Um, uh, and then if you turn out to be opposite of expectations from your family, then you get rejection totally. Like they can even reject you in that way. So it's really hard. So they cannot be, those people cannot find comfort within their family home, so they need their own. I, I have a note here. So they need their own room even when they're married in their own, have their own family, because they need some place that, because they
Their
had
own
to have.
safe space. Yeah. Their own
Yes.
habitation. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, uh, so they need to be encouraged that they are lovable and that they deserve to be nurtured, cuddled, and hugged.
Oh,
So imagine, those are really hard things. That feeling just unloved and unprotected and unsafe, and that's how you go into the world with that feeling. How are your relationship going to function in that sense? Because you're always going to suspect or not be like, why, not feeling that even people tell you I love you. I do really mean it, and I don't, what do you
yeah.
want from
I
me?
can
What
see
do you
that
want from me?
trust issues, belief in, that that you're truly
Yeah.
loved. Yeah, that could be a challenge there.
So it's very hard because you need to go really deep down and go with your parents, and it's one of the first Freudian things when you think about when he introduced relationship with parents is important for development
Yeah.
and for how to function. So that's definitely that. So helping others, feeling loved, and if you hug others more, you're gonna heal yourself as well. So
Hmm.
these people really have issues with hugging.
Oh,
So you will, if you find somebody who has issues with hugging, they probably have some Chiron the fourth or in Cancer or something.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. I had a childhood friend. My sister knows her. Doreen didn't like being hugged. No, no, no hug at all. And that's another friend I have, recent friend. I take notice of it differently now that I'm into the work I do. So it's interesting that you don't want to be the touch. And a healing hug is one that you give a hug and you hold it for a few minutes.
Oh yeah.
So they're definitely against that. That's so sad
Yeah. So
to
so
not
so
to be able to take a
so
hug
yeah. So just we need to hug those people more. That's all. Okay.
gently.
So the fifth house or Leo. Oh, okay. So now how Leo wants the attention, he wants the spotlight, Leos want to enjoy the moment. Is there a moment of so these people have hard time
Mm.
enjoying their spotlights, enjoying the moment, not able to be spontaneous or fun, or just relaxing and feeling joy. And you need to teach them that they can. So that's anyway. So it's very so also because because they didn't feel the spotlight when they were kids, or when they were young, they didn't have this. So sometimes they don't want to have kids, so the kids doesn't so the kids don't overtake their spotlight. It just because it's Leo, it's creative energy. It doesn't have to be kids.
Watch your
Anything
mic again,
creative.
because you're getting jumbled. Watch your microphone.
Okay.
Because you got so much good stuff that
I
we
have
want
to
to
stop
hear.
moving.
No,
Yeah,
you don't just move the mic, just adjust the microphone so that you can still do your movement. We want to hear every word you say.
Okay. So those are people who either, with no fault of their own, they don't want to become parents, or they don't want to have children. Or on the other side, it can be people who, if they have kids, they don't want to let kids go away. Like they want to keep them with themselves for, so it can be both of those things. What else?
Would they be afraid of the spotlight? In other words, would they be the ones with the wallflowers? They don't want to be like acknowledged at an event or party or something like that.
Yes. All the creative projects and expressions and creative output, they can be feeling stunned in their own creativity, if that makes sense. So they doubt their value and worth of creativity. So they, or being a parent. Will they be a good parent? And there's a lot of about these creative things and nurturing through kids, right? Okay, so they can become, because they have this like childlike creativity, innocent problem with that. So finding a group that they can connect with, they can do this creative thing, and just supporting each other to be more spontaneous and creative. That's a good thing. Teaching, that's how you kind of help yourself, by teaching others, especially kids. Surround yourself with kids, or through being teacher. So being that old wise person that young kids look up to, that's how you can heal your kind of, so connection with kids and your creativity is a wound here. Okay, in one way. If it's in the fifth house, it can sometimes happen. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to happen to anybody, but it can, for a woman with a Chiron in the fifth, it can also be about miscarriages.
Let's say difficult childbearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or just miscarriages, not even coming to that, or your kid taken away from you for some reason. For example, you're a teen parent, and then you have to give your kid for adoption or something, and you didn't really want to. Anyway, so those are the really hard stories that anyway, from it can be like that, like literally, you're sometimes, many kids were taken away from their fathers because, mothers resent, and then they, the mothers give the right to the kids, right? Usually kids go to mothers,
right,
by law and by everything, and then fathers, like many men who have Chiron in the fifth, are kind of they were not in their child's life for some reason, because the kids were taken away from them. So there is this wound of there you go. Anyway, I don't deserve to be a parent. There's the issues of deserving being a parent. Should I be? How am I? And being your true self. That's the Leo fifth house story. Virgo's sixth house story is about it's about control issues. They usually have no discernment. These people with Chiron in the sixth or in Virgo, they can have physical issues with their body as well, just because Virgo is about health and through that. Okay, so let's see, what did I write here? So these people, when they do something, they usually want to gratitude. So they're not happy if they don't get gratitude or thanks. So if they can feel that they have a sense of being taken for granted. That's the
Oh.
wound. Okay. And yeah, although to be honest, Chiron in the sixth or in Virgo is one of the better placements, if I can say that, just because uh, they have like a natural, they know how to clean things, health. You know how all the Virgo things, health, cleaning, it's almost comes kind of natural to them, so they do it. But they need some kind of gratitude. That's the only problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, now you say
Uh,
gratitude, they need more than the usual thank you, or
yes.
whatever. They would need more than that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. It's just constant. If they did something for you once, so
Okay.
they
Oh,
will,
okay.
or repeat kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is not that hard of a placement. I feel it can be more of like a physical body, or not feeling also comfortable in their physical body. um, Digestion, how Virgo rules digestion, and so there is a lot of Chiron in Virgo or in sixth house about bulimia or
Oh,
anorexia, or those kind of things can happen.
I
Okay.
see. Okay.
um, yeah, but they can become such good healers, because they want to be of service, so they just with age they kind of learn how to heal their own bodies and emotions, and then help others with that. Okay, because Virgos are alchemists. Through history they were the pharmacists, the
Yes.
alchemist people.
And they're
So
pushy.
um,
I'm just saying that because a friend of mine is
yeah,
on. She's listening, so I'm going to say they're pushy. No, that she's great. She is all of what you just said. I mean, that's not where her Chiron is, but she has those Virgoan attributes.
yeah. So there's lots of control issues as well. They need to let go, learning how to let go control and not work. So they go and um, they express their love through by doing other things
Oh,
for other
I,
people.
I see. I get. Okay, so they can be like a workaholic, or they do, and that's the way they show
A
their
lot
love for you is
of
by.
yes, and if they don't feel appreciated, then they feel unloved. So that's the mood kind of. So I'm gonna do everything for you, and
Yeah,
but the things that they do are so mundane. They're like changing your sheets, washing your toilet. Like who says thank you? Thank you for
yeah,
cooking, thank you for
yeah.
cleaning the bathtub. Like it's just not, so that's the problem, because they feel they want a gratitude and thanks for just little mundane
Yeah, they
things.
didn't get sufficient acknowledgement for,
Yeah,
and a full hearted
yeah,
acknowledgement. Oh, no, like thanks, hon, and keep on going. That's not enough. Yeah, I get it. No, I can
yeah,
see that could be a challenge for people with
yes,
that who do a
yeah,
lot. Yeah,
yeah, right. But those are the things that are not something special, right? It's just everyday
right.
things. So that's why that's the kind of the wound, because not being not appreciated, but thanked enough for everyday service,
Yeah,
let's say.
yeah, yes.
Okay. Libra or seventh house.
Hey, Teresa.
Ooh, it's about beauty. You know,
Oh,
they need to do something beautiful to heal, or be surrounded by beauty because they don't feel beautiful. Um, Also, it's about connecting with others. So trust the process of resolving the conflict. They avoid conflicts, and they need to and then they put everything under the rug, and then they don't that's actually hurting them, because the situations are not resolved. So it's like with other people. um oh, what did I write over there?
people pleasing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so okay. um yeah, so they also feel that they don't deserve a good relationship.
Oh,
They don't deserve to be in a good relationship. They're never gonna find that person who's gonna love them and accept them. That's definitely Libra or seventh house. Um, uh, uh, they are, yeah. So they usually feel that, that every relationship is bad. Oh, I don't deserve anything better than I have here. Kind of a feeling.
oh,
So they
okay.
accept bad relationship just because they feel that they don't deserve a better one. So this is
Mm-hmm.
who I am, despite my life. So, but if they grow, as remember, as we kind of understand this wound, and then we work on it, then they just walk away one day, without even conversation, which is also not healthy. So they should try to accept the process of having even they avoid conflict so much. That's why they suffer in the relationship with others, not just love relationship, but business relationships, friendship relationship, with parents, with everybody. They don't want to say anything, and
I see.
they feel like crap.
Um,
Right? But
yeah.
they're so afraid of conflict. They don't want to lose these people, and they feel that they don't deserve anybody better anyway. So that's a wound.
So they
Um,
would do well by helping others find their voice and being
uh,
able to say what they feel and need.
yeah. So I think yes. First of all, accepting, telling other people that they deserve better, and helping
Yes.
others be in a better relationship, going to help them be in a
The
better
relationship.
relationship.
Got it. Yep.
Realizing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Uh, what's important, this is what I wrote down, which is it's important that they have a good relationship with themselves first.
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
that's the hardest part. You know how, we don't thank ourselves enough. Oh yeah, no, you're good enough. If you don't feel good about yourself, why would anybody want to be in a relationship with you if you
Hmm.
don't feel that you don't, like you were saying, like it comes from loving yourself, and what can you bring, so they need to be in a good relationship with themselves first, so working on that. Okay, just
Absolutely. Hmm.
anyway,
Okay.
that's Libra.
Scorpio.
Scorpio, or eighth house. Yeah. So how to become, how can darkness become light again?
Okay, because
uh,
that
yeah,
has to be okay.
it's usually very hard. So after Cancer, I would say this is the second hardest in my
I
opinion, just
would
because
think so. Yeah.
it's about crises
Yeah.
and traumas,
Oh,
and early stages of life issues of even abuse. I don't want to go there, but I need to mention that. Um,
adults. Yeah.
yeah. So what they can have also as younger: phobias, paranoias. That's all Scorpio issues. They can have those, like a prosecution complex, like somebody's, always
Yeah.
after me.
Right. Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
uh, so it's kind of accepting also your dark side of you. Uh, that we are all, we're not perfect. We have, the dark side, and just accepting your shadows,
Right.
working on your shadows, accepting them.
Yeah.
And the best way to do it, actually, to go, if they are possibly, to psychology, psychoanalysis, and first get to know themselves,
Hmm.
on a deeper, profound psychological level, and helping others, and helping others also go there, right? Yeah, so they need to accept the dark side of them to live in a light, in a sense. um, yeah, but they, as they age, they will realize they have such a good intuition and instinct, actually, so they have good filters for who lies to them, and and everything. um, so dealing with fears, lots of fears, that's also Scorpio.
Hmm.
Trauma, crisis, anyway. um, it's hard, because you need to really go deep and find, because many of these people have some kind of crisis when they were young, and then they block them, and then they suddenly have blockages in their life, and they don't know why, and then you go to psychoanalysis and hypnosis, and then it comes up, oh my god, I was, I don't know, abused or something.
Abused. Yeah.
Then
Hmm.
it opens up all these shadows, but they need to kind of deal with them, and helping others deal with them.
Yeah.
That can be hard. I won't lie. I
Yes.
mean, I have it in eight. I don't have any traumas like that. I have it in the eighth house, my Chiron. But accepting that I have a dark side, that's hard, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. But
Like,
we're human, so yeah, you're gonna have a dark
no,
side.
no, I know logically.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
logically,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
Gemini. Logically,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Right. Yeah.
emotionally,
Yes.
really,
Yeah.
I can
Right.
beat this. Hmm. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my,
Yeah.
and connected with, so connected with value system, and anyway, so that's it's my story. Okay. Ninth house or
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Yes. Oh, they can have issues with belief system, with religions. They can be wounded, like God has abandoned me issue.
Hmm.
Okay. So not even parents. that's like nothing. But God
God
has
has, oh
abandoned, like,
yeah,
or
yes.
a feeling abandoned by the higher power or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. You feel bad. So there's a lot of crisis about their yeah. So they really doubt what they believe in. They're not, like, what am I? They don't, they doubt their philosophies, their, you know, it's, it's a, it's a quest for truth that is hurting, that you can't find the truth. What is truth? And it's driving you crazy in that sense. That could be a situation. So, or just taking for on the other side, because you always have two extremes with these situations. They can just accept the belief system from somebody else or something. They don't even question anything,
Oh, okay.
and then, but they're not kind of comfortable with it, so it's one of those things, right? So they need to start questioning and finding their own beliefs, their own philosophies, their own, but usually I feel mostly with this is just like, why me, in a sense, God doesn't love me,
Mm-hmm.
like, that, how that's the most common feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to kind of help other people. Like, we are all God's children. I'm not talking about in a religious way, not, I'm just saying,
Yeah, yeah.
whoever divinity is for
Mhm.
you, whatever divinity is for you, I'm just mentioning God. It can be whatever, and I don't want to go into details, but that's yes. So that means that, in the first half of the life, it's very conventional what they were brought up with. They're taking this, and it can bring you pain. Imagine, like cults. They can go into cults, or
That's
their
what I wrote down
parents.
here. I wrote just, I
Yeah,
finished writing down, this is a
yeah,
cult set
yes,
person that could easily be sucked into that kind of
yes.
thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or they were brought up in a cult,
The
or
cult.
in a strong religious or
Mm-hmm.
upbringing, and then there's this wound of, how can you abandon, that belief system? Like, how can I do
Right.
that? Like, there's a, I can't, but so there's a lot of uh, beliefs are, we take it for granted, but beliefs are such a
Ooh.
strong and
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. I'm finding that out myself now. As I deal with people, no, we realize, that you hear from people now as they mature, and people actually, sometimes they return to their original belief systems, or they totally move away and have, embraced other or wider paths. And when you see the difference, like, wow, so, you don't realize that's someone's underpinning on the operating system beneath their life and how they live and see things could be that.
even believing and not believing is strong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, yes.
there's opinions and stuff, right? They're so strong within people, and just, anyway. So this is the wound of how you fit in with how your truth. What is your truth? Helping people find their truth. There's a lot of things here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a quest, like in a true
Yeah,
Sagittarius
yes.
meaning. It's a quest for
Yeah,
the.
yes, yeah. That's the Don Quixote
Yeah,
kind of thing because they are looking, they're seeking, and yeah. Hmm.
I like that. I like that. And they're fighting with the, what is it? What did he fight with the
Um,
windmills?
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Oh, please. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
Windmills. Yep.
Capricorn, or the 10th house. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's again, a difficulty in achieving goals.
Mm.
I don't deserve to achieve anything. I don't deserve the respect. You know, like, this is Capricorn. Um, uh, yeah. So I don't deserve the place in society. You know how Capricorns usually are. So they're always looking, and so I don't deserve to be, a respectable member of the society. Right? That's the burden they have. Um, they like feel that they're never going to be successful. They don't deserve the success and achievement and acknowledgement by others. And it's often a how do you say, self-profiling prophecy,
Fulfilling. Mm-hmm.
fulfilling, yes, a
Mm-hmm.
self-fulfilling prophecy, because they repeat it so much to themselves that they really don't do anything. They really don't become successful at the end, right? Um, And then, sometimes with Chiron, you need to hit the rock bottom to realize and move on. And then they, kind of gets better, right?
Yeah, rock bottom does.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. They can help other people achieve something, and the small achievements. It's always about little small, and they can build on that. And helping others have small achievements, they help them have small achievements, and then it leads to success eventually. Um, yeah. So what do I say? Yeah. The more they achieve, the older they are. Okay, so yeah, so the more that they achieve these little things, the more successful they will feel. And they will feel successful no matter what other people think or say eventually. But they have to kind of go to that part because they really need respect from others and acknowledgement by others that you are, and it's hard as well because how we measure success, again, if you're not a manager in a corporate world, you didn't succeed. Or, if you don't have 5 companies or holding or this, or you're not an entrepreneur, or if you're not, you're muted. JeMaja, you're muted.
Well, that's usually people usually like that when I'm muted, but you're so funny. No, I'm just saying that the status thing. People often have are crippled by. I'm at a certain age. I should have X, Y, and Z by now. I'm a failure because I don't have that. Meanwhile, they may be enjoying their life as it is. That's a definition of success, but it doesn't measure up. They don't measure up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just by the standards in the world we live in. It's not about, it's literally having a status,
Mm.
and status is measured by the way what kind of car you drive. Are you in a position at work?
Hmm.
Oh, it's anyway. I don't want to go there. I'm going to get mad. Okay, but
You mean both. That's I'm obsessed because that was something that bugged me. People would ask me what I did for a living, right? And people don't understand why I don't talk about it because when I say what I did, oh, that's something that's so
yeah,
great. It was just a job, and it wasn't. At times, it was a good job. I mean, it did take care of me and family. But right away they go to like that what it was, what it represents. They didn't ask me whether I enjoyed it. Was it fulfilling to me? None of that. It's just and yeah. So that there's a
it's also
job, and there's even in the chart, there's your job and your passion, two different houses. Which your 9 to 5, but your what do you call it? Your calling is a different house typically,
yeah,
and they may not meet. Mine didn't meet for sure.
yeah. Oh,
So
look at me. I'm an accountant. Come
yeah,
on, like,
yeah. Yeah, we're not day job people typically, and yeah, I had a day job too. I had a palm reader who was Adrian. Remember this? And he saw my palm. And he read. He says, "You have a day job?" And he asked me twice because he couldn't believe, like, how are you doing this? And I was like, it's
well,
not too well, but I'm managing. It's
yeah.
just
So again, having finish or being a doctor or a lawyer, that's like that's you're so successful. It's just, anyway,
yeah,
I don't want to go there.
yeah,
The measurement of success need to change with this Pluto in Aquarius. The value systems and the measurement of success.
good,
Those are my two.
excellent.
I'm putting this in my intentions that I want this to be changed in the next 20 years because we as a society need it,
Good.
because this is just not sustainable, not normal. Or you're successful, or you work overtime, you work so much. Oh, he's so good. That's not normal. I'm sorry.
Right.
You
No, and
suffering
it's not a
your personal.
right.
So anyway,
Hmm.
but that's the hurt of these people. Um, they don't probably need that success, but they feel. You remember, like all of us are feeling pressure of being kind of successful, but imagine these people are even double. Imagine double the pressure of not feeling that you're ever gonna have that. So
Got
that's very
it.
hard. Okay, 11th house or Aquarius. Okay. Woo. Usually they have, they're a futuristic people ahead of their time. So the wound is they're not just being recognized. Their ideas and thoughts, they're ahead of their time. Nobody understands what they're talking about. So there's this wound of, literally feeling like an alien.
Hmm.
Literally.
Yes.
Like
Oh
literally
yeah.
not from this place, not from Earth. They definitely do not fit in this society kind of interactions expectations from society's measurements,
Yeah,
right?
because the modern ruler of Uranus would, I could see that being with their modern ruler, saying they're so ahead of, yeah, they're
Yeah.
already
So,
in the
so
cosmos.
they often feel that they don't deserve to be successful in terms of community and friends. So they lack confidence to project themselves into the world.
Got it.
They feel their energy won't be appreciated. And then as a result, people who attract them are users, abusers, so that can be a feeling as well. So think about that.
Okay, wait,
That's interesting.
people who attract them or people they
Uh,
attract?
People who attract them can be because they become like they are so they are attracted by people who eventually use them for something
Got
or
it.
abuse them for
Okay.
something.
All right. Okay,
Okay.
got. I'm clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
So just because they lack confidence in this community and social area, what am I supposed to do? What are the social norms? How am I supposed to behave? And then because they feel that this is not going right, they can't be themselves. So other people take advantage of that. You know,
Hmm.
of their because they can be just different, right? Um, uh, so what do they need to do? Kind of find a way to be service to community and helping people. So people who are a service of community and have a vital role without taking for granted. Okay, so um, um, they need to kind of work on feeling accepted by the community they live in a way that they organize something. So they need to kind of organize some group or something, initiate something, manage, facilitate something,
Yeah.
to feel that they
Right.
belong, right?
And the community accepts and appreciates them
Yes.
by
So that's the
attending
way.
and yes, yeah. Hmm.
But they usually don't want to be involved because they feel
Right.
that they will not be accepted, but they need to push themselves to actually be involved.
Hmm.
So that's
Hmm.
that's uh, that's uh, that's why they feel very vulnerable within groups and communities, very vulnerable,
Okay.
right? They feel like
Yeah.
they cannot be themselves. Nobody's going to accept them. Like it's not like nobody loves me, but I don't kind of belong here.
Yeah.
And if I'm
Or
going to
they'll
be
find out I'm an alien,
yes,
that kind of thing,
yeah.
That
If
kind of thing.
I'm just a weirdo, I'm
Yes. Yeah.
a weirdo. There's that song, right? So that's kind of so they need to kind of push themselves and start a group. I think that's the hardest part. So when they're older, they need to kind of start their own group to help community. Okay, so that's just being a part of society. On how we have all this society, we have this rules. They're not written rules. How
Yeah.
society works. Oh,
Yes.
you have to bring flowers when you come
Yes.
to somebody, or you need to do something.
Social mores and stuff. Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So these people have issues with it. They don't know, and then they just feel nobody understands. They're just different. So
Hmm.
if they help others fit in more, they're gonna fit in more. Okay. And last, not the least, are Pisces. Difficulty in gaining sense of personal individuality, just because they don't have no boundaries. It's very, very difficult position. Um, um, they have actually issues with believing in anything as well, um, especially themselves. So lack of self-belief. Okay. Um, and then measuring up to anyone's expectations. Um, uh, they need to learn the true nature of surrender. Because when they're young, these people will surrender to anything and anybody. There's no boundaries. They need to kind of learn, um, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Learn how to
like
uh,
unconditional service and love is also connected here.
okay.
Um, Compassion, like having um, I don't know. So
No, I think you said it. You went over it. I mean,
yeah,
I think you said it a
I
lot
think I
with
said
the
it.
yeah. Yeah. Because we know Pisceans have this, such a big, their ruler that so they would have such too fluid boundaries that they don't have, so how do you measure up to such vastness, kind of thing?
Yeah, so they can, they can be, also, yeah, pushed on, they can be a springboard for everybody to push them around.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of uh, understanding in that sense. It's a hard position because Pisces and 12th house is just not tangible. It's out there. So these
Yes.
people really have, being more compassionate and kind. They're like they feel that maybe they don't deserve that from other people, that to be kind to them. So they kind of, I don't deserve people to be kind to me or something. So that it can be very. Because they don't have a sense of personal individuality, as I mentioned, so they don't
Hmm.
know who they are. So they're like, I can be just a, how they say not a rag. You know how they when you
Sponge
the little thing. No, when you come to the house and then you clean your
or
doormat for
doormat.
everybody.
Oh,
That's the,
okay.
they can feel like a doormat for
Yes, they
everybody,
can.
right?
They can. I have a dear friend who, at times, but she's so giving, she overgives. You have to stop her from giving. She's very, giving
And
and understanding of other people's faults,
yeah,
and shortcomings, but not her own. Yeah, not her humanity. She's, to me, to see how valuable she is to everyone.
yeah. Oh, hi, Astrology Club. Hi, nice to see you. Yeah. So Chiron with Sun, like Sun in general, is more projective and assertive. So that's kind of, we feel more that we are lacking projectiveness and assertiveness, and with Moon that we lack this receptiveness and emotional stability. So in general, I'm going to go back to that. If I don't know how much time we have. What is the time?
We're doing okay. Let's see. We start 5:30, but we just start on time. We got time. I mean, this people are still
Okay.
listening. People are
Okay.
still
Okay.
here. Hmm.
So, so I want to go back to. I just want to read a couple more things. So, if you have, how angles are very important, ascendant, midheaven. So I want to say, if you have Chiron on the ascendant,
Mm.
um, they can forge an image for themselves. Um, they will be as they think world wants them to see, on a day by day level. It can be an act as well. Okay, so that's a note.
Ah,
Okay, so if it's opposing, so it's like a first house kind of a feeling.
yeah.
If Chiron is opposing the ascendant, or it's around the beginning of the seventh house, they can go an extra mile just to feel appreciated and loved by others, and they can leave a lie. They will do anything to feel appreciated. So
Oh,
that's an unhealthy way to do it, right? So just saying that this can be a situation if you,
mm,
you know,
mm.
um, if Chiron is on the midheaven, um, people who will portray themselves as what is it? Hounded. Uh-huh. They will haunted. Like they will portray themselves as
Cream.
wounded to get the attention of the world,
Oh, so that little
or
Munchausen's.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or they try to be the big person so the world doesn't see how flawed they are in their eyes. It's a lot of self
Wow.
sabotage.
Okay.
Okay.
That's on the midheaven. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then Chiron on the IC opposing midheaven. So these people are damaged by childhood, mommy and daddy issues. Like this is that was example of my mom that I mentioned. So that's like a difficult position. Um, so all these people who have strong Chiron on the angles, when they realize they're good people, worth a while, everything turns around for them. So they become the best versions of themselves. Oh, astrology. This is the one. This is the book. Melanie Reinhardt, Chiron, the healing journey. That's the one. Okay.
I have a
I
question.
want. Yes,
Go ahead. No,
please.
you go ahead. You finish. You said you want something.
Yes, I
I don't
just
want to
want to.
interrupt that.
I just want to say something on the positive side, and then I'm going to end it because it's already late. This I talked about hard aspects, but what about good aspects?
Yes. What? about the
So
good
the
ones?
positive side, if you have a trine or a sextile, it's about they can self-accept easier. So the self-acceptance comes easier, but it doesn't mean it's going to get better. He still have to work on it. Okay, but they will approve, approve. So and I'm talking. When I talk about aspects, I talk about the personal planets or angles, because these are the ones that are making us like mostly sun and moon and ascendant descendant, not Saturn or Uranus. Don't look at outer planets, okay, when I talk about this. So these
Mm-hmm.
people, they're gonna, what do I say, they're getting better. Yeah, they will do the best. They're always going to improve because they have this self-acceptance awareness on a higher level, because they have an easier aspect. Um, in a perfect, yeah, so they can understand that they don't live in a perfect world, and they can be aspire to be better and better, helping, and they want to reach the quality of life. Yeah, so reaching the state of bliss, yeah, so they understand that they're reaching the state of bliss, of perfection, is not real,
Mm.
and so they're always improving. So that's a good, okay, that's a good sign. Okay. If you have Chiron retrograde in your chart, I just want to quickly
That's
mention
what I was
that.
going to ask. That's what I was going to ask because I have Chiron retrograde in my
Okay,
chart.
so it's like a third, 1/3 of the population has that. So it's learning all these lessons of integration, assimilation, and holism and healing within themselves internally, and not through outside world, not directly. So you kind of need to do it. When you have a direct planet, you usually learn about everything through interaction with others or circumstances around. But you have retrograde, it's within. I also have retrograde Chiron.
Sounds like more work, of course. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but
I have to do my own work. Yeah, do your own
yes,
work. Yeah, do your work.
yeah. So, but it's just learning internally by observing yourself,
Self.
or
Yeah,
how, yeah, or
yeah,
just not others, and it's just learning from your own mistakes, not from other people's
yeah,
mistakes. Let's say.
yeah.
Okay.
That's
Anyway,
good. Yeah.
we can talk about this for years and years. I hope this was helpful,
This was
useful.
extraordinarily helpful. Thank you so much because I've learned a lot about. I was telling someone I think before you joined, early on in even in my healing career, and as a baby, when I was a baby astrologer, I would use Chiron. Because when Chiron was first explained to me and I saw the profoundness in my chart and who I am, and I realized, that is something that everyone has that woundedness. And they came here for that, with that reason, it's there, and it's a way for more light to come in and how they can use that to, I find when people help others with what they know and what they've lived through, the transformation can be amazing.
Absolutely.
So
I'm
that's
always
so thank you
sharing
for
my,
this
yeah.
detail. Yeah,
No, no.
this is good.
I'm always when I have a client or anybody, when I look at chart, I look at the Chiron just to know if this person has some kind of traumas that are harder, and then I know how to approach them.
Yeah,
If
absolutely. Yeah.
if I see Chiron with the moon or the sun, I know I need to be very careful about many things, because they're just, if they're not aware of it, I am aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
through this
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, right? So it's a very good guidance for me. And I have been working with Chiron last 5 years, and I find it inspirational.
It is.
And yeah,
Yeah.
there's and sharing my stories. I always share all of my stories. I share my divorce story, my mother's death story, my Pluto story. I share everything. It's important that I think it's one of my people just anyway, it's good that we connect through personal stories, because people can
Learn from them. Yeah, you
learn
learn
from them.
from, yeah, yes. I learn from other stories, other people's stories. I learn from mine, and sometimes even the telling of your own story in the process of helping people learn, you see more things are revealed, and people get that. Well, me too, and it helps other folks feel like, oh, I'm not some oddball out here.
But
So that's
I also know that not everybody's comfortable with sharing their stories. I am, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use this. I'm going to use that as my superpower, that I'm able to share
Share
my story,
stories.
because
Yeah. A lot of people are not. You're right. Not everyone is
and and
comfortable.
they're not, and they don't have to, but
Mm-hmm.
for us who can, that's why I'm doing it. I'm gonna, because for those who cannot, I will do it instead of them. So
Right.
anyway, that's how I
Right.
feel. Using your things that you feel that you, anyway, help others, guys, help other people. Really, there's nothing better than encouraging others, helping others be their best selves. It's so
And this
rewarding.
work right now, it's helping us get ready, as you said, for this reset. We're going through a massive. We're at the door of massive transformation and change. So this is sort of like, how you go to the gym starting in January, February, so you're pretty and trim for for beach season. So I think this is our going to the gym by actually doing our Chiron and seeing what our Chiron needs. And like you mentioned in another episode about look and see where your Jupiter's at. That's when you have an abundance, and you can give some of that. That's something you can give, because something that's you have plenty of. So look to that house. Don't give to the house that may be a little, a little lean. Go to the house of Jupiter that
Yes,
says, "I got plenty here. This is something you can do and freely give away." So that's why and that encouraged me. I do that, but that actually gave me a little bit more of an impetus to keep on doing that, because
nice,
it's
good,
in yeah,
good.
it's in, what can I say, it's in alignment, or it's in resonance with things. So yes, I gotta do my Chiron, I gotta do my Jupiter. So you mean,
Yeah.
do your moon, but it brings the chart alive. The chart is a living, breathing um
Yes.
design. It is your soul's template, on paper. But we're the ones that give it the depth and breadth
I,
and
I
the
have an
the light.
idea. If you want, I have an idea. I would like to talk about a south node more than a north node. Maybe our south node, no, but more about south node. Maybe you can do an episode of that. Just because I think there's a misconception about south node, that we need to kind of move from it and go to the north node. I think we need to use the best of our south node, and
Absolutely.
I think we should do an
Oh,
episode on that. Um, and just because by observing other people,
yeah.
when we are that's my experience, when we are overwhelmed or
Yeah.
feel, we tend to go to our south node and bring the worst of it.
Yes. Oh, okay. We tend to go to our south node and bring. Oh, okay, got it. I just need to
When we are
repeat that.
overwhelmed, okay,
Yes.
and that I'm watching this, so I'm watching it, I'm observing people and looking, and that is so, something that I am now still researching, but I would like to explore that more and talk about that more, I think it's very important.
Oh, I think so. But I don't want to leave out the North Node, because I think people haven't, because the nodes are big now, as far as everyone's known the nodes, and certain things are coming up. That's how this conversation came up.
No, no,
Chiron, yeah,
yes, but using the best of your
South
south node
Node.
is the way to go to the north.
Yeah,
That's the way,
yes,
but you need
yeah,
to use the best of your south node. Otherwise
yeah.
you won't be
Yes,
able to go there,
that's right.
because they're
Yes.
opposites,
The
right?
South Node is your front. Yeah, is your front loading. Yeah, it's your base. Yeah, exactly. But no, I would love to have a node
Okay,
conversation. Thank you. Yeah,
okay,
we'll
let's,
schedule that.
for
We'll
February.
talk. Cause I mean, yes,
For
yes.
February. Let's do that for
February would be
February.
great. Yeah, February would be great. Yeah, yes.
Okay, guys.
Because yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much, Jasmine. This is fabulous. This was great.
Thank
Um,
you. There is more to talk about it. Don't get me. I'm not 100% expert, but I love Chiron. I like working with Chiron, and I
yeah.
feel it can help all of us
Yeah, it can.
grow
And we
there.
can have another conversation months from now when we see, we can actually have one when we see what the US's Chiron. You should check out Canada's, to see when Canada's Chiron is, and to see it on a bigger level, and to,
Yeah.
what I mean? So we can actually tell our countries, here's what you need to be doing to do your Chiron. You know what I mean? I mean, I can see me now at the Senate saying, okay, here's what the country needs to do to help itself. And that's what it is.
Thank you so much. So many people say they love the two of us together. So many people approached me and in my DMs and said, "Oh, you two together are so good." So I really thank you for this opportunity, and that
And thank you for actually responding to me and
it was
accepting when
such
I
a
said to offer. I said this is something, and because I followed, I said, this feels good. And I didn't even know you were a Gemini then. I didn't know you were a Gemini until I think later on, because we just seem to flow, and and then we like to laugh, of course, because Geminis do. We talk a lot. Geminis do. We have great synastry. Must have great synastry.
I think
Yes.
we have something.
Uh, um,
Oh, maybe we. Oh, she wants to share our synastry. Maybe we can talk about
yeah.
synastry as well. We didn't talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
That's a great
Yes. Yeah.
topic.
That's a good
Yes,
topic. Thank you.
yes.
What's your friend's name?
Uh,
Mas
that's Astrology Club Maastricht. To be honest, I don't know her first name, and I'm ashamed
Maastricht.
of that. But
Maastricht.
yes, but
Okay.
she's a lovely astrology student. She's learning astrology and sharing, and she has a group in Netherlands.
Oh, Netherlands.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they
Okay.
meet in person, and she's one of those, when you're addicted to astrology in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna,
Yes.
yeah, we are planning to do a live together. So because I want to have this enthusiasm of her enthusiasm to spread into the
Yeah.
world. She's lovely.
Yes. Well, and then of course we got to go, but I always tell people that people need people, we were saying that used to be in this country, oh, babies don't come with an operating manual. I said, yes, they do. It's called the natal chart. Yes, we have, yeah, yes, babies have an operating
I
manual.
love
So we just need to read
that.
ours and have it, because the manual appears when you're born, doesn't have as much, but the longer you live, the more that comes up.
Yeah, but
Like when I had you do yeah, you see more. You did my chart for me.
I know.
And I always, and people say, why are you still getting a natal chart done? I said, because every time I speak with an astrologer, I learn more about who I am.
And we have all different approaches. We always see something. Every
Yes.
astrologer will see something different, just because there's so
Yes.
many things to
Hey,
see. So it's
Jane.
not, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. That is a good one. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say something funny, but I don't know anymore.
Oh,
Uh,
yes. Okay.
doesn't matter. Um, yeah, I was going to say. Oh yeah, you were talking about manual
Operating manual.
manuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes.
The problem is nobody likes to read them. That's why.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why
That's it.
we have
Well,
problems.
yes. And that's the benefit of having an astrologer or someone to
Yeah,
interpret that manual for you, because you may not
right.
need the whole manual at the same time. You may need the return, the Saturn return, or blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you don't want to have some parts left inside not used. No, you
Not
want to use
used.
every
Yes.
part in your chart,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. That's right. Yeah, I'm cramming for finals right now, so I'm trying to make sure I don't leave any sign unturned or
Oh,
unused.
you're doing great. You're doing great. Thank you. Love and hugs to
Everyone.
everybody, and see you soon. Oh, I have to talk to you. I can't do next Friday. We have to talk. We'll do another day.
Another day, fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we have a guest.
And
Our friend from
ooh,
New York that you met, he's
he's
coming
coming.
over for the
You
weekend.
that's too funny. That's great.
So
I was just
yeah,
thinking about him the other
yeah.
day.
So
Okay.
so he's coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm going to be offline 3 days and spend some time
Good,
with my
good, good,
friend.
good,
So
good.
that's why.
Perfect.
Anyway, we'll
Okay.
talk.
All right. Okay,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Buddy, have a great week.
Bye.
We'll see you soon. Bye bye.